जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, गौर प्रेमानंद। So last time there was a Hindi talk on Abhidheya Tattva, and Abhidheya basically means sadhan. Sadhan means the means by which we attain the sadhya. What is sadhya?
Process.
Sadhya is the Krishna Prem is the sadhya, but what is the English meaning of the term sadhya? Goal. So sadhan is the process, sadhya is the goal. So last time there was a Hindi discussion on sadhan tattva, what is the process. Today we are diving further into understanding sadhan bhakti even more, because it is important to understand what are the varieties of sadhan bhakti. So therefore today we will be doing a discussion on the varieties of sadhan bhakti, which there are two varieties as described in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. We will see them today. But before that, let's quickly revise what is the definition of sadhan bhakti, that which was discussed last time. And this definition is given just below the term Shri. Shri is a Mangalvachi Shabda. It is the auspicious term. And just below Shri is the first verse, which was discussed in detail last time, but which we are discussing again because the context is relevant. So Hindi mein we say prasangvash, because the context is still relevant, therefore we are discussing the same verse again. Let me put it back in context. Sadhan is the process of bhakti, sadhya is the goal of bhakti. What is the goal of bhakti?
Krishna Prem.
Krishna Prem. Krishna is the Vishay, the subject matter, okay, and Krishna Prem is the sadhya, is the target to be achieved. Like, let's say somebody says Krishna is the target to be achieved. Question is, by achieving Krishna, after achieving Krishna, what will we do? I hope you are able to understand. So the target is not exactly Krishna. The target is Krishna Prem. So there are many people who have come in close proximity of Sri Krishna. For example, Duryodhan, Shakuni. These people, in the sense of proximity, have achieved Krishna, because they have achieved what we could not achieve, that is proximity of Sri Krishna. But they have not achieved what is the sadhya, what is the goal. And what is the sadhya? Krishna Prem. So there is a difference between achieving Krishna and achieving Krishna Prem. What is our desired achievable?
Krishna Prem.
Krishna Prem is the desired achievable goal of life. So that one should have very clear in their mind. In order to attain that, we have to perform what is known as sadhan. Now, what is sadhan bhakti? Sadhan bhakti is defined in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1-2, which is Eastern wave, second division, second verse. Alright? Please repeat after me. Kriti sadhya bhavet sadhya,
Kriti sadhya bhavet sadhya,
bhava sa sadhana bhitha,
bhava sa sadhana bhida,
nitya siddhasya bhavasya,
nitya siddhasya bhavasya,
prakatyam hridi sadhyata.
prakatyam riti sadhyata.
So in the verse itself you will see the term which is being defined is named Sadhan Abhidha. That she is known as Sadhan Bhakti. Sa means she. She is masculine gender or feminine gender? Feminine gender. Because Bhakti is masculine or feminine? Feminine. So Sa Sadhana Bhida. If it is masculine, you will call it Saha. Feminine, you will call it what? Sa. So Sa Sadhana Bhida. She is known as Sadhan Bhakti. And what is the definition? When you define somebody, you have to give some characteristics. So there are two characteristics given in the first line. Please repeat the first characteristic after me. Kriti Sadhya.
Kriti sadhya,
So first characteristic is Kriti Sadhya. sadhya, she is executed, kriti, by the senses. Alright, first characteristic is she is executed by the senses. Kriti means senses, sadhya means she is executed by. So she is executed by the senses. When we perform sadhan bhakti, simple meaning is when we perform sadhan bhakti, we have to engage our senses. Without engaging the senses, there is no question of calling it which bhakti? Sadhan bhakti. First characteristic, alright? Now, second, alright? Please repeat. Sadhya bhava.
Sadhya bhava.
So, she has her sadhya, she should be able to achieve something. And what should she be able to achieve? Bhav. So, she attains, she helps you to attain what? Bhav, the stage of bhav. Because bhav and prem are the goal. And sadhan is the process. So sadhya bhava, she is kriti sadhya, she is executed by the senses, and sadhya bhava, and she should help you achieve the stage of which bhakti? Bhava bhakti. Once bhava bhakti is achieved, prema bhakti is in most cases a matter of time. But you should be able to achieve bhava bhakti. Why did Rupa Goswami not just directly say prema bhakti? Because before attaining prema bhakti, you will attain one stage of bhakti, which is which bhakti? Bhava bhakti. Till that point, sadhan bhakti has helped you. From that point onwards, sadhan bhakti will still continue, but bhava bhakti takes over from that point. And then bhava bhakti finally culminates in the highest goal, which is what? Krishna prema or prema bhakti. So this is what it is. Kriti sadhya bhavet. Bhavet means she becomes sadhya bhava. She is kriti sadhya, and bhavet, she becomes sadhya bhava. Therefore, sa, she is known as what? Sadhan abhidha. Abhidha means her name. Her name is sadhan bhakti. So her name is sadhan bhakti because she has two characteristics. What are the two characteristics? What is the first one? Speak in the original language. What is the first characteristic? Kriti sadhya. And what is the second characteristic? Sadhya bhava. You see, both characteristics end with a because feminine gender. Alright? So kriti sadhya and sadhya bhava. These are the two characteristics of which bhakti? Sadhan bhakti. Now we have defined. Kriti sadhya, she is executed through the senses. Sadhya bhava, she should help you ultimately attain which stage? Bhav stage. Which indicates a very important point, that any so-called activity of the senses which does not help you attain which stage? Cannot technically be called as sadhan bhakti. I hope you are able to understand. So any so-called activity of the senses which doesn't help you attain the final goal, according to this definition of Rupa Goswami, you cannot classify it as sadhan bhakti. Then what do you classify it as? I hope you are able to understand. Let's say somebody executes a lot of activities of bhakti in relation to Shri Krishna, but the goal is not attained. Then what do you call it technically? Then you still call it bhakti? Shrama. Okay. No. Shrama dharma swanusthitah pumsam vishwaksena katha suyah na utpadayet yadi ratim shrama evahi kevalam. That verse you have quoted is correct. But the first part of the verse is dharma swanusthita, varnashram dharma. If it doesn't lead to Krishna prem, then it is shrama. Not that activities of bhakti. That is not shrama. But technically you will call it bhakti unmukhi sukriti. What will you call it? Bhakti unmukhi sukriti. It has given you some sukriti that will fructify in future lives. But technically the main goal which should have been attained, which ideally was supposed to be attained, was what? Bhava bhakti. But if that goal was not attained, technically you cannot call it sadhan bhakti. You can call it sukriti. What can you call it? Sukriti. Favorable activities. You executed sukriti, favorable activities in relationship with bhakti. So, are we here for cultivating bhakti sukriti or are we here for cultivating Krishna prem? So Krishna Prem we have to cultivate. So this definition we should keep in mind. Any activity of bhakti which does not lead to the final attainment technically will not be categorized as sadhan bhakti by Sri Rupa Goswami, and he is the final authority when it comes to Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. He is the author of Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. The reason why he has put this is because he wants to indicate that a genuine practice of bhakti will lead to the goal. I hope you are able to understand. A genuine practice of bhakti will lead to the goal. And any practice which is done artificially, partially or conditionally will not lead to the goal. That indication is very clearly given here. Now that we understand what is sadhan bhakti, the question is kriti sadhya. Sadhan bhakti is executed through the what?
Senses.
The impression that somebody may get is by doing some activity of the senses, bhav will be produced in the heart. I hope you are able to understand. By doing some activity of the senses, what will be produced in the heart? Bhav bhakti will be produced in the heart. Question arises, senses are material or spiritual? Our human senses are material or spiritual? Purely material. They are material, therefore they are undergoing 6 changes. They take birth, they exist, they become bigger, they get old, they dwindle, they vanish. 6 changes are found in material objects or spiritual objects. Hence it is proved that the senses that which we are using to execute bhakti are material or spiritual? Material. Through a movement of the material senses, can a spiritual entity such as Bhav or Krishna Prem be produced? That's a very big question. Because Kriti Sadhya, move the material senses in order to do bhakti. And then Sadhya Bhava, finally you have to attain which stage? Areva, which means by a movement of the material senses, you are trying to produce something spiritual. Does it sound possible or impossible? So Rupa Goswami says in the next line, please repeat after me. Nitya siddhasya bhavasya prakatyam hridi sadhyata. So bhav cannot be artificially manufactured like a chemical in a chemical factory by movement of senses or by movement of some industrial machines. You cannot produce bhav. Nitya siddhasya bhavasya. Bhav is eternally present and eternally perfect. It is eternally present where? In the heart of the devotee who is already eternally perfect, from whom you have taken diksha or shiksha. I hope you are able to understand. Yes. That person is Nitya Siddha. Who is that person? Nitya Siddha. From that person's heart, it gets transferred to whose heart? Our heart. Therefore, the first step in the first limb of the 64 limbs of bhakti is to take shelter of a bona fide guru. So a bona fide guru is somebody who has already achieved the stage of what? Krishna Bhav Bhakti or Prema Bhakti. Ideally Prema Bhakti. So Nitya, that person is Nitya Siddha. And Nitya Siddhasya Bhavasya, that Nitya Siddhas Bhav, Prakatyam, when it appears in your heart by his kripa, that is sadhyata, that is the attainment. Production through movement of material senses is not the attainment. By the mercy of the pure devotee, when their bhav is transferred into the bhav of the disciple, that is attainment. I hope you are able to understand. Now, was bhav produced by movement of material senses or was bhav simply transferred from an existing source? So, hence proved that bhav is not a product of the movement of material senses. I hope you are able to understand. Yes. Question is, why kriti sadhya then? Why move the senses at all? If that is why move the senses? If at the end of the day bhav is going to be transferred from the heart of an existing devotee to our heart, why move our senses in any way? Wonderful. So Hari Vallabh Prabhu has correctly said the answer. The movement of the senses is only so that the requisite mercy or the requisite kripa of Bhagwan and Shuddha Bhakta can be produced, so that that bhav is transferred from the heart of that devotee to the heart of the sadhak. Alright? In some cases, it is seen that even without the presence of a guru, a particular person has achieved Krishna Prem. I hope you are able to understand. Example is Gajendra. When Gajendra achieved Bhagwan, he was in which species of life? Elephant species of life. In that particular species of life, did Gajendra have any guru?
No.
He was in which planetary system? Earth or heavenly planets?
Heavenly.
There, he didn't have any Adhyatmic guru there. But his attainment of Krishna Prem is very surprising, to say the least. In this case, it is to be understood that there is Janmantariya Guru Kripa. Janmantariya Guru Kripa means the Kripa which has come from a previous birth, has to be understood. So in some cases we see that some people attain Krishna Prem even without having the presence of a spiritual master in their lives. In such cases it is to be understood that there is a Janmantariya Guru, which means that there is the presence of a very powerful Guru from previous lifetimes. And the mercy of that Guru has resulted in the attainment of Krishna Prem. I hope you are able to understand. In both cases, accepting a Guru is apariharya. Apariharya means it is compulsory, it is not optional. Alright? One cannot sit with the assumption that maybe in a previous life I might have accepted a pure devotee. With that assumption, one cannot sit. Alright? But if it is seen, in Sanskrit it is said that karyena karananumanam. By effect, the cause can be ascertained. But if it is seen that somebody attained Krishna Prem but there was no presence of a Guru, then anumanam. Anuman can be used to understand that in a janmantar, in a previous birth, they must have had some pure devotee as their Guru. I hope it is able, you are able to understand. So this verse should be understood very, very clearly. In some very rare and exceptional cases, Bhagwan may directly give the bhav or prem within the heart of the devotee. That's all right. In some very rare cases, Bhagwan may directly give. That is also possible. But the main cause is the attainment of the mercy of an existing devotee. So an existing devotee becomes the agency of transfer of bhav or prem. Once that is understood, then we can proceed ahead to understand what are the types of sadhan bhakti. Now we understand what is sadhan bhakti. Okay? Now we should not forget, because otherwise sadhan bhakti means we will have a very simplistic understanding. Bhakti in practice. Bhakti in practice many are doing. Bhakti in practice through the senses, which helps you attain the stage of bhav, is known as which bhakti? Sadhan bhakti. Unless both characteristics are present, technically you cannot call it sadhan bhakti. Alright? Chalo. Now Sri Rupa Goswami says, what are the two main categories of sadhan bhakti? In the verse below, kindly repeat after me. Vaidhi raganuga cheti swadvidha sadhanabhidha. Sa means he or she. Sadvidha sadhanabhidha. She who is known as sadhana bhakti. Dvidha is of how many types? Two types. So she is bifurcated into two types, and the two types are named in the first half of the sentence. Vaidhi Raganuga Cha. That Vaidhi sadhana is the first type, Raganuga sadhana is the second type. Now we understand that Vaidhi is also a type of which bhakti?
Sadhana.
And Raganuga is also a type of which bhakti?
Sadhana.
So it has to be understood that both Vaidhi and Raganuga are actually sadhana bhakti. Because there is a very common misconception that Raganuga bhakti will begin only after you have attained perfection. this misconception should not be harbored within the heart, because Sri Rupa Goswami himself has categorized Raganuga as a category of which bhakti? Sadhan bhakti. So Vaidhi and Raganuga are both actually bhakti in practice. I hope you are able to understand bhakti in practice. So let's first try to understand what is Vaidhi bhakti. This bhakti is applicable to most practitioners in the world, and this is the de facto mode of bhakti when Raganuga bhakti is not present. So this is known as Vaidhi bhakti. Let's see the definition of Vaidhi bhakti as Rupa Goswami has mentioned. The verse below that, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1-6. Please repeat. Tatra Vaidhi. Now we will see which bhakti?
Vaidhi Bhakti.
Which is a subdivision of which bhakti?
Sadhana Bhakti.
Alright, wonderful. So Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. Please repeat. Yatra Ragana Vaptatva Pravrittirupajayate Shasanenaiva Shastrasya Sa Vaidhi Bhaktiruchyate. Yatra, wherever Rag anavaptatvat. Avapti means prapti, attainment. Anavapti means aprapti, non-attainment. Wherever Rag anavaptatvat, wherever Raganuga bhakti has not been attained. Where which bhakti has not been attained? Raganuga has not been attained. But pravritti rupajayate, the tendency to execute bhakti is still there. Where Raganuga is not present, but still the tendency to perform bhakti is there. Now question is, definition of Vaidhi bhakti has become dependent on which bhakti? Raganuga bhakti. I hope you are able to understand. Definition of Vaidhi bhakti has technically become dependent upon definition of which bhakti? Which means that in order to fully understand this definition, we will first need to understand which bhakti? Raganuga bhakti. Unless we understand what is Rag and what is Raganuga Bhakti, we will not be actually fully able to comprehend what is Vaidhi Bhakti. Can you notice something else about this definition? Where Rag is not present and there is still tendency to do Bhakti, that will be known as which Bhakti? Vaidhi Bhakti. Can you try to see that this is Abhavamayi Vyakhya? You know what is Abhavamayi Vyakhya? A definition which requires the absence of something. For example, I have to perform a yajna, a fire sacrifice. And the best candidate to perform the sacrifice is Devadatta. But today Devadatta is sick, he is absent. So somebody may say, today Devadatta is absent, so we will get the yajna done through Yajnadatta. I hope you are able to understand. So Yajnadatta is not the first choice. Yajnadatta is the second choice. So this is the type of definition that is being given here. Yatra Rag anavaptatvat. Where Raganuga Bhakti has not present. Pravritti rupa jayate. Still tendency to execute Bhakti is there. Now I will give a short explanation of what is Rag, so that we can understand what is Rag. Sri Jiva Goswami will say below, and yeah, can you see below Atha Raganuga?
Yes, Bhakti Sandarbha 310.
310 Bhakti Sandarbha. Please repeat after me. Tatra Vishayinah Swabhaviko Vishaya Samsarga Ichha Atishayamaya Prema Ragah. Now Shri Jiva Goswami is defining what is Rag. Please hear very carefully. He says, Tatra Vishayinah, sense enjoyers. How many of us have experience of material sense enjoyment? Please raise your hands. Okay? Everybody has experience? Huh? Vishayinah Swabhaviko Vishaya Samsarga Ichha. They have natural desire to come in contact with sense objects. Yes or no? Okay? Atishayamaya Prema. and their exceeding love for the sense objects is called as rag. What is it called as?
Rag.
Chalo, definition. The definition which was given is given in such a way that all of us can immediately relate to it. To put it in simple words, the extreme attachment that sense enjoyers have for sense objects in the material world is also known as what? Rag. I hope you are able to understand. But this is not the rag which we are looking for. Jiva Goswami gives an example next. Please repeat. Yatha
Yatha
Chakshuradinam
Chakshuradinam
Saundaryadau
Saundaryadau
Yatha Chakshuradinam Saundaryadau. Just as Chakshu. What is the meaning of Chakshu?
Eyes.
Have deep attachment for Saundarya. What is Saundarya? Beauty. So just as eye etc. has deep attachment for beauty etc. So eyes have attachment for beauty, nose have attachment for aroma. I hope you are able to understand. So this is rag. In which world? Material world or spiritual world? Now we all understand what is rag. So Satyasri Jiva Goswami, very nice teacher. He tells us what is rag because we have experience from millions of infinite lives. We have experience of what is rag. Moving ahead, he says, Tadrisha evatra bhaktasya Shri Bhagavati api raga iti uchyate. Tadrisha eva, similar, वैसा ही, exactly same. Bhaktasya Bhagavati api, when the devotee starts having that same fervor and degree of attachment towards whom? Shri Bhagavan. Then in the field of bhakti, in the domain of bhakti, that also becomes known as what? Rag. I hope you are able to understand. So rag is that deep, innate, organic, non-artificial, 24 karat gold attachment for Shri Bhagavan that is present within the heart of a bhakta. Everybody has understood? Okay? Because we know what is that deep, innate, natural, organic attachment we have for sense objects. That attachment is 24 karat gold. That attachment which we have for sense objects. Nothing is mixed in that attachment. Nothing comes before that attachment. That attachment is what you call 24 karat gold in the material world. That similar 24 karat gold attachment, when it is present towards whom? Bhagavan. That becomes known as rag. In which world? Material world or spiritual world? In the spiritual sense, it becomes known as rag. Okay, now let's come back to the definition of Vaidhi Bhakti. Please repeat after me. Yatra ragana vaptatva pravrittir upajayate. Yatra raga anavaptatva. Due to non-presence of what? Rag. Now we know what is rag. Deep, innate, organic, natural attachment towards whom? Bhagavan. But still pravritti is there. Tendency to execute bhakti upajayate takes place. Now without genuine attachment to Bhagavan, why will tendency to perform bhakti occur? So Shri Rupa Goswami answers by saying, please repeat, Shasanenaiva Shastrasya Savaidhi Bhaktiruchyate. Shasanenaiva, by Shasan. What is the meaning of Shasan? Discipline. The tendency to perform bhakti arises not by spontaneous attachment, but that tendency arises by discipline. Disciplinary statements of whom? Shastrasya. Disciplinary statements given where? Shastra. That bhakti becomes known as which bhakti? Vaidhi Bhakti. Where the tendency to engage in the acts of bhakti is purely due to disciplinary statements of Shastra. So I did not have any genuine attachment towards Bhagavan, but somebody came and educated me in Shastra and told me, you should perform bhakti. Why? Because who says? Shastra says. I hope you are able to understand. Sometimes people say, Shri Krishna says in the Gita, Man mana bhav, mad bhakto, mad yaji, mam namaskuru. So, Are Krishna, this is Shasan. You know what is Shasan? Discipline. This is a direct order. Those have come now, just pass them a sheet. So this is Shasan. पीछे भी there is Shasan. Shasan means this is disciplinary statement given in Shastra. When Krishna says Man mana bhav mad bhakto mad yaji mam namaskuru, is he saying only for those who have spontaneous love for him, or those who, for everybody in general? Everybody in general. So therefore this is a Shasan Vakya. Now those who don't have rag, please raise your hands. How many of us genuinely feel that we don't have spontaneous, natural, innate attachment towards Bhagavan? Please raise your hands. Alright? Now, all of you check the first box. Yatra rag anavaptatvat. Acha, please raise your hands. How many of you feel that I should execute bhakti? Still pravritti upajayate. Tendency is there. What is the reason? I would like to now ask each one of you, what is the reason that you would like to execute bhakti? Please tell me. Why? Instruction of Guru. And Guru got his instructions from where? Shastra. Chalo. Anybody else? Yes. Nothing else gives pleasure. So what gives pleasure? Activities of bhakti. Where did you hear this?
Shastra.
So therefore I am saying Shastra. Ultimately, you are pinpointing to where? Shastra. Where the tendency is not purely out of Shastra, but because of some genuine feeling is arising in the heart, it is called Rag Samvalit Vaidhi Bhakti. Some tinge of Rag has entered. Although complete tendency of Rag is not there, some tinge might have entered. But where we are executing Bhakti simply because Guru said, or some senior Vaishnava said, or some Shastra says, ultimately it will go to one source. Which source it will go to? Shastra. Because Guru or senior devotee have ultimately learned the practice of Bhakti by a study of what? Shastra. So therefore, Rupa Goswami comes to the direct source. Shasanenaiva, by Shasan, by discipline of whom? Shastra. Ultimately, all disciplinary statements are coming from where? Shastra. Sa Vaidhi Bhakti Ruchyate. That, dear devotees, is known as which Bhakti? Vaidhi Bhakti. I hope you are able to understand.
Yes.
Now a question arises here. What was Rag defined as?
Spontaneous attachment to the Bhagavan.
Spontaneous, natural attachment, organic attachment towards Bhagavan. Isn't that the goal?
Yes.
है कि नहीं? Isn't that the goal?
Yes.
Yes. That is the goal, or that is the process? That is the goal. To have prem, genuine attachment and love towards Bhagavan. But we are putting it as the requirement for Raganuga Bhakti. So, Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says below. Please repeat after me. Ragotra Shri Murter Darshanat Dashamaskandiya Tattalila Shravanacha Bhajana Lobha. Rag actually here doesn't mean complete full-fledged love of Krishna. Rag means a genuine attachment for the pastimes of the 10th canto. I hope you are able to understand. Not that you have full-fledged love, but you have the aspiration to attain that love. You have some initial attachment towards that love. Because if that full-fledged love is expected in the very beginning, then you are expecting the goal from a person who wants to attain the goal. I hope you are able to understand. So you cannot expect the goal from a person who is just a practitioner. So practitioner is expected to have initial attachment for Rag Bhakti. If even that initial attachment is not there, but he is performing acts of bhakti simply by the force of disciplinary statements of Shastra, then his bhakti is categorized as which bhakti?
Vaidhi Bhakti.
And Vaidhi Bhakti is a subcategory of which bhakti?
Sadhana.
I hope you are able to understand. Now Sri Rupa Goswami gives an example of what is Shastra Shasan, how Shastra disciplines. He gives an example of a disciplinary statement from Srimad Bhagavatam. Below. Tasmat Bharata Sarvatma
Tasmat Bharata Sarvatma
Bhagavan Ishvaro Harihi
Bhagavan Ishvaro Hari
Shrotavyah Kirtitavyascha
Shrotavyah Kirtitavyascha
Smartavyascha Bhayam
Smartavyascha Chakabhayam.
Tasmat Bharata. Shukdev Goswami is saying to Maharaj Parikshit, O descendant of Bharat, O Parikshit, Tasmat, therefore, Sarvatma, the soul of all souls, Bhagavan Ishvaro Harihi, that Bhagavan who is known as whom? Hari. Shrotavya, he should be heard about. Kirtitavyascha, he should be glorified. Smartavyascha, and he should be remembered. Cha Ichhata Abhayam, for one who desires liberation and fearlessness. Who desires liberation and fearlessness? Please raise your hands. So Shastra is giving Shasan. Shrotavya, you must hear about. Kirtitavya, you must glorify. Smartavya, you must remember. Whom? That Hari, Ishwara, Hari. Now here the pravritti tendency is out of Rag or out of Shasan? Shasan, out of discipline. Therefore this is an example of which bhakti?
Vaidhi
This is an example of Vaidhi Sadhan.
Bhakti.
Okay? Now that we understand this example of Vaidhi Sadhan Bhakti, Sri Rupa Goswami also points another statement which is the pinnacle of all Vaidhi Bhakti, Vaidhi Sadhan Bhakti. Please repeat after me the statement which is given below. Smartavya Satatam Vishnu
Smartavya Satatam Vishnu
Vismartavyo na jatuche
Vismartavyo na jatuche
Sarva Vidhi Nishedasyo
Sarva Vidhi Nishedasyo
Etayoreva Kinkara.
Etayoreva Kinkara.
There might be many types of moving of limbs by the sadhan bhakti, but the main type of Vaidhi sadhan bhakti is this. Smartavyah Satatam Vishnu. Vishnu should be always remembered. Is this a disciplinary statement or not?
Yes.
But Vishnu should be always remembered. Vismartavyo na jatushchit. Vishnu should be never forgotten. That's okay. Minimum disturbance. Alright. Smartavya Satatam Vishnu. Vishnu should be always remembered. Vismartavyo na jatuchit. And Vishnu should never be forgotten. Jatuchit means kadachit. What is the meaning of kadachit? At any point of time. Vishnu should always be remembered at any point of time. Vishnu should never be forgotten at any point of time. Jatuchit means kadachit. At any point of time. Sarve Vidhi Nishedasyur. All the rules and regulations, all the yes and no of Shastra are Kinkara, are the servants of these one rule and this one prohibition. What is the one main rule?
We should always remember.
And what is the one main prohibition? Never forget Krishna. So, there is space here, those of you who want to come. Sarve Vidhi Nisheda. All other rules and prohibitions are servants of this one main rule and this one main prohibition. Alright, so this is the intention of Sri Rupa Goswami in this particular statement. So all types of sadhan bhakti, dear devotees, all types of sadhan bhakti are finally supposed to lead to Krishna consciousness. I hope you're able to understand. They're supposed to lead to Krishna consciousness. What is in a single verse? What is the meaning of Krishna consciousness? Smartavyaha satatam Vishnu vismartavyona jatuchit. This is Krishna consciousness. Krishna should always be remembered. Krishna should never be forgotten at any point of time. In the commentary to this verse, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, Satatam prati dinam, prati aham, na tu pratikshanam. Satatam means all the time. But what is the meaning of all the time? Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says it means at least once per day. What is the meaning of all the time? At least once per day. Does not mean every moment. Why? Because it is impossible for the sadhak to give this level of perfection, that he may be able to remember Krishna every moment. So Satatam here is interpreted by Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur as what?
At least once a day.
At least, not at most, okay? At least once per day. I hope you are able to understand. For example, somebody takes a bath every day once. He will say, I take Satat Snan. What is the meaning of Satat Snan? Daily. हमेशा मतलब हर क्षण स्नान या हर दिन स्नान. Every day snan. Alright. So I take a bath every day can also be called as Satat Snan. So in this way, Smartavyah Satatam. So constantly remember Shri Krishna. Constantly means what?
Daily.
At least once in a day.
At least once every day. हाँ, कम से कम दिन में एक बार. Don't forget, otherwise it is you lose the main crux of the verse, and you will start interpreting it as all the time. There's only one category of devotees in reality who are constantly remembering Krishna all the time without forgetting him. Those are the eternally perfected associates of Shri Krishna in Goloka Vrindavan. I hope you are able to understand. Who are the devotees who are constantly able to remember Krishna without forgetting him at any point of time? Who are the ones? Nitya Siddha, eternal associates of Shri Krishna. Is that same perfection expected from a sadhaka, a practitioner?
No.
For a sadhaka, satatam constantly means what?
Once per day.
I forgot at least. Nahi to you will
At
at least once per day, and at most as much as you can organically without forcing yourself do it. Okay? So this is what is the meaning of Satatam. Don't forget, because the technical details, if you lose them, then you will lose the crux of the verse. Satatam prati aham na tu pratikshanam. Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur will say. Satatam means at least once per day, not every moment, because that level of perfection cannot be expected from a practitioner. Alright. Now, who is the adhikari? Who is the eligible candidate for Vaidhi Bhakti? Because right now we are in which Bhakti? This Martavya Satatam is also a Vidhi. We are in Vaidhi Bhakti, so adhikari. Who is the eligible candidate for Vaidhi Bhakti? So please repeat after me. Tatra adhikari. यह केनाप्यति भाग्येन जात श्रद्धोस्य सेवने नाति सक्तो न वैराग्य भागस्यामधिकार्यसौ तत्र अधिकारी. Now let's see who is the eligible candidate to enter into the practice of which bhakti? And Vaidhi is a subcategory of which bhakti? Sadhana Bhakti. So let's try to understand who is an eligible candidate for Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. So Sri Rupa Goswami says, Yah kenapi ati bhagyena. He whosoever out of extreme good fortune, ati bhagyena, out of extreme good fortune. Jata Shraddha, he who develops one stage. Which stage? Shraddha. So the specific qualification for entering into Bhakti is the attainment of what? Shraddha. Shraddha in what? Last time it was specified. Shraddha in the statements and meanings of what? Shastra. And those statements and meanings of Shastra will say Asya Sevane. Those meanings will say Serve Shri Krishna. You know, abhi we saw Krishna should be heard, Krishna should be meditated upon, Krishna should be remembered. One who gets Shraddha in such statements, that person gets the basic eligibility. But there is one more thing to be considered. In the next line, Rupa Goswami says, Na ati sakto na vairagya bhak. Na ati sakto, this person is not extremely attached to material enjoyment. I hope you are able to understand. This person is not extremely attached to what?
Material enjoyment.
Na vairagya bhag. This person is not very detached also at the same time. Neither very attached nor very detached. What is the reason?
So this is the Arigati for karma and jnana.
Wonderful. So our Hariwala Prabhu knows. You are saying if he becomes too detached, he will become eligible for Rag Bhakti? No. If he becomes too attached, he is not eligible for Bhakti, he is eligible for Karma Yoga. He is eligible for which yoga?
Karma Yoga.
Because he still has asakti, attachment for activities. If he is too detached, he becomes eligible for Jnana Yoga. Neti neti, aham brahmasmi, sarvam khalvidam brahma, anandam brahma, vijnananandam brahma. This is all the statements he will meditate upon. Alright? So he becomes eligible for which yoga? Jnana Yoga. And I have specified last time, the person who is eligible for Jnana, you have to take sannyas. Proper Jnana Yogi is somebody who has taken what? Sannyas. That is a proper Jnana Yogi. From all the Shankaracharyas you see, not one of them is a Grihastha. You cannot become a Grihastha Shankaracharya. All the Shankaracharyas are actually Vairagis or Sannyasis. So Vairagya, if one develops excessive Vairagya, then they become eligible for which yoga?
Jnana yoga.
And excessive attachment?
Karma yoga.
And the position between where one is neither too attached to material life, neither too detached from material life, that person is eligible for which yoga? Bhakti yoga. I hope you are able to understand. So what is the meaning of neither too attached nor too detached? So we will understand. The meaning is when such a person sees any object in the material world. For example, such a person sees that he goes to a shop and he sees that there is a good chandelier in the shop. Now chandelier is a material object or spiritual object?
Material yoga.
For the Jnani, it's mithya. You know what is mithya?
False.
It doesn't exist only. In actuality, it doesn't exist only because of Maya, it is appearing beautiful. Achyutan Maya hai. That chandelier is Maya. What do I have to do with Maya? Neti neti. What do you do with Maya? Neti neti. Nahi hai. This is not Brahma. This is not Brahma. So turn your face away from it. I hope you are able to understand. This is the Vairagya of a Jnani. Now the Vairagya of a devotee is different. A devotee goes to a store and she sees this beautiful chandelier. The devotee says, this product is made out of Maya. 100% it is made out of what? Maya. So in that sense it is Maya. But it can be very effectively used to serve Bhagavan Shri Krishna.
For the decoration.
For the decoration of a beautiful devotional home. Alright. Seeing this relationship with Shri Krishna, there is some relationship of that chandelier with Shri Krishna. Can somebody tell me what is the relationship of that chandelier with Shri Krishna? That's alright. That puri dunya is material energy. But what relationship we just found? It can be used
For service of Krishna.
for service of Bhagavan Shri Krishna. But Shri Krishna doesn't want chandelier. Krishna has his own chandeliers. I hope you are able to understand. So it can be used for the service of somebody who is related to Krishna. Who is related to Krishna? Krishna's devotees. So Krishna Bhakta Anushilanam is also Krishna Anushilanam. I hope you are able to understand. Service of devotees is also bhakti. Service only of Krishna is not bhakti. Service also of those who are related to Krishna is also categorized as what? Bhakti. So I saw that this chandelier can be used effectively for giving pleasure to the devotees. Chalo, let's buy it. I hope you are able to understand. Then let's install it. But my attachment to that chandelier is only as long as it can give pleasure to the devotees of Sri Krishna. Beyond that, I have no specific attachment to it. Then my Vairagya is called as Yukta Vairagya. Which Vairagya is it called as? Yukta Vairagya. When there is detachment from objects which are not related to Krishna, attachment is only in relation to service of Krishna or service of the devotees, and there is no specific attachment beyond that. I hope you are able to understand. That sort of a detachment is technically defined as which Vairagya? Yukta Vairagya. And that sort of detachment where you reject it, calling it Maya because you want to get liberated very soon, that is called as the second type of Vairagya. Somebody knows what is that name? Phalgu Vairagya. That is known as which Vairagya? Phalgu Vairagya. Fa is not found in Sanskrit. Fa is Farsi. Pha. Phalgu Vairagya. Which Vairagya it is called as? Phalgu Vairagya. Alright. So Phalgu Vairagya is the Vairagya that is present in the Jnani. And Yukta Vairagya is the Vairagya which is present in a Bhakta. Because the devotee is neither too attached nor too detached. The devotee's Vairagyas has a separate technical name. What is the separate technical name of the devotee's Vairagya? Yukta Vairagya. Okay? I hope you are able to understand. So ये मन में रखना है. Otherwise, we will think too attached, too detached. मतलब I will decide how much attachment and how much detachment. So that is not we decide. Shastra will decide how much attachment, how much detachment is needed. ठीक है? So I hope you are able to understand. So this is Yukta Vairagya, and this person becomes eligible for which bhakti? Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, because still this person has not achieved one thing. What has he not achieved? Rag he has not achieved. है कि नहीं? So because he has not achieved rag and the tendency to perform bhakti is still there, by the discipline of what? Shastra. Therefore, it is known as which bhakti? Vaidhi Bhakti. I am repeating again and again. Sthuna Nikhanana Nyaya. Hammer a pole in the ground, you cannot hammer by one stroke. You have to hammer it by giving many strokes of the hammer. So my cause of repetition is so that we all get the definition very clear. Otherwise, if we don't have the definitions clear, then we'll make up our own definitions within our mind. And that is not how bhakti works. Bhakti works according to the definitions given in the Shastra. Okay? Now we understood Vaidhi Bhakti. Parishesh Nyaya. By the logic of what remains, one type of Bhakti remains. Which Bhakti remains now? Raganuga. It is called Parishesh Nyaya. Which Nyaya it is called? Parishesh Nyaya. For example, there is a box, black colored box, and you put two balls in it. One ball is red colored, one ball is blue colored. And then you take out the blue colored ball. And without looking, you can find out which colored ball remains within. Which colored ball remains within?
Black.
Box is black. Two balls we put, red and blue. Okay? We took out the blue colored ball. Red remains. By the logic known as Parishesh Nyaya. Which Nyaya? Parishesh. Logic of what remains. I hope you are able to understand. So by Parishesh Nyaya, which Bhakti remains to be discussed? Raga Nuga Bhakti. Alright? Which Bhakti? Raga Nuga Bhakti remains to be discussed. But for understanding Raga Nuga, first we have to understand what is Rag. Alright? Because Raga Nuga is a combination of two terms, Raga Anuga. So first let's understand what is Rag. But we already understood what is Rag. Jiva Goswami told us what is Rag. Hai? So what is Rag? The statement we have read already. Vishayinah Swabhaviko Vishaya Samsargecha Atishayamaya Prema Raga. The innate, natural, organic, 24 karat gold, deep, intense attachment that a sense enjoyer has for sense object in the material world is called as what? Rag. How many of us have experience of Rag? Raise your hands. Sense enjoyment आपको नहीं experience? I thought Vishnucharan Prabhu doesn't have experience. We located a pure devotee. So alright, so we all have experience of rag. Similar attachment, if somebody has in Bhagavan, that person is said to have what? Rag. But actually such deep, innate, natural, organic attachment cannot be produced by any sadhan. You have to have it by birth. I hope you are able to understand. You have to have it by... Now what I am trying to say, please try to understand. Actually, rag is only present with the eternally perfected Vrajavasis. I hope you are able to understand. Rag is present only with whom? Eternally perfected Vrajavasis. Why? Because they are thinking Krishna is our family member. हमारा है ये, समझ में आ रहा है? जो blood relationship होता है, what we call as a blood relationship, that is present only with which devotees? Eternal Brajavasis. All right. Nowadays also you go to Vrindavan, some people will say, "हम Brajavasi हैं, ना ठीक है? You are Brajavasi, but you don't. The Brajavasis who are being indicated here are those who appeared with Krishna and those who disappeared with Krishna. Those are the Brajavasis whom Rupa Goswami is indicating. Okay. I hope you are able to understand. Not the one who is present in 2024. Okay? So the Brajavasi according to Rupa Goswami is a devotee who appeared with Krishna and who disappeared with Krishna. Can you give me examples of certain Brajavasis like this? Sudama, Sridama, Nanda Maharaj, Lalita, Vishakha, Sri Radha, Madhumangal. I hope you are able to understand. So these are the eternal Braja. Otherwise, some people we will think abhi 2024 mein whosoever rickshaw wala is driving the rickshaw according to Rupa Goswami will become Brajavasi. So no. Those who have rag means those who have that eternal innate attachment towards Shri Krishna because of having taken birth with Shri Krishna in the family of Shri Krishna. Those people who appeared with Krishna at the time of Nanda Maharaj and who disappeared with Krishna, those are known as eternal Brajavasis. And short and sweet, those who are present in Goloka Vrindavan. I hope you are able to understand. Those who are present where? Goloka Vrindavan. They are actually technically Brajavasis in the definition of Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada. I hope you are able to understand. So, actually rag is present only with those types of devotees. Which devotees have rag? Eternal. So, we have a technical name, Nitya Siddha Brajavasi. What is the technical name? Nitya Siddha Brajavasi. So, only the Nitya Siddha Brajavasis have that sort of a rag towards Bhagwan Shri Krishna. We can only do Anuga. Anu matlab paschat. Ga means gamanam. Paschat gamanam. We can only follow in the footstep. Piche chalna is known as Anuga. So we can only practice one type of bhakti. Which type of bhakti can we practice? Raga Anuga. And therefore it is known as which bhakti? Raga Anuga. So we cannot have that exact same level of deep attachment that is present with the Nitya Siddha Brajavasis. But we can try to emulate the mood. I hope you are able to understand what is emulating the mood. We can emulate the mood of the Nitya Siddha Brajavasis. By emulating the mood, so we will not be exactly Raga Bhaktas, we will be known as Raga Anuga Bhaktas. Therefore, Sadhan Bhakti is of two types. What are the two types of Sadhan Bhakti? Vaidhi, Raga, Nuga. Not Raga, Raga, Nuga. I hope you are able to understand because we can only become Anuga. We can't have that same level of Rag that is present in the Nitya Siddha, eternally perfected Brajavasis. No matter how much somebody is claiming in 2024 that they have the same level of attachment, the truth of the matter is you get that level of attachment when you have a direct family relationship with Bhagavan Shri कृष्ण. ठीक है? So that is what it is. चलो. Rupa Goswami is defining Raganuga Bhakti. Please repeat after me. रागानुगा विवेकार्थम
रागानुगा विवेकार्थम
आदौ रागात्मिकोच्यते.
आदौ रागात्मिकोच्यते.
अच्छा, रागानुगा विवेकार्थम. टू अंडरस्टैंड रागानुगा भक्ति, आदौ फर्स्ट रागात्मिका उच्यते. First I will tell you what is Ragatmika. Ragatmika means nothing but that bhakti which is present in the eternal Brajavasi. That is called as Raga Atmika. In Hindi we will say Rag ही जिसकी आत्मा बन चुकी है. Rag is whose whole and soul. That bhakti is known as Raga Atmika Bhakti. Then Rupa Goswami defines Raga Atmika Bhakti first. And to remember, this Bhakti Raga Atmika is present only with one set of devotees, with Nitya Siddha Brajavasis, who appeared with Krishna, who disappeared with Krishna. I hope you are able to understand. So let's understand their Bhakti first. इष्टे स्वारसिकी राग
इष्टे स्वारसिकी राग
परम आविष्टता भवेत्
परम आविष्टता भवेत्
तन्मय्या भवेत् भक्ति
तन्मय्या भवेत् भक्ति
सात्र रागात्मिकोदिता
सात्र रागात्मिकोदिता.
इष्टे, ishta means your object of love is called as what? Ishtadev or ishta. Ishte swarasiki ragah. Ishte swarasiki. Swarasiki means swabhaviki, the natural attachment in your beloved is called as param avishtata. When it attains the highest level of deep attachment, when that attachment that you have towards your beloved, when it attains the highest stage, tanmaya bhavet bhakti, that sort of bhakti is called as raga atmika bhakti. Now, hint, this bhakti is present only with whom? Can it be present in a sadhaka? No. Sorry, not for sadhak. But all of us are sadhak or siddhya?
Sadhak.
Then what about us? When will we get?
When they will get.
When we will follow in the footsteps of one of a Nitya Siddha Brajavasi. When we follow in their footsteps, then from their heart, that bhakti will descend in whose heart?
Our heart.
Then in our next life, we will take birth with Shri Krishna in a universe where Krishna's pastimes are about to begin. I hope you are able to understand. In our next life, we will take birth in a universe where Krishna's pastimes are about to begin. There we will take birth in Gopajati. What is Gopajati?
Relation to Krishna.
As a Brajavasi. And then we will see Krishna taking birth in front of our eyes. Then we will understand, अरे ये तो अपना ही है, समझ में आ रहा है? I hope you are able. This is ours only. इष्टे स्वारसिकी स्वाभाविकी प्रीति परम आविष्टता, supreme engagement, supreme deep involvement in Sri Krishna will be there. That bhakti will be attained only by taking birth with Sri Krishna. And after that life, then we will be transferred to the eternal abode which is known as what? Goloka Vrindavan, where that form which we will have attained will continue forever. I hope you are able to understand. This is perfection in which bhakti? Vaidhi bhakti or Raganuga bhakti? So short and sweet, Raganuga in this life turns to Ragatmika in the next life. And that Ragatmika continues forever. In which world? Material world or spiritual world? Occasionally, you may come to a particular material world with Shri Krishna. As Nanda Maharaj comes, Mother Yashoda comes, with Shri Krishna you may come. But even then you will be fully under the shelter of Mahamaya or Yogamaya?
Yogamaya.
So will you experience any material misery at that point of time?
No.
I hope you are able to understand.
Yes.
So you will never experience any material misery even if you come with Bhagavan Shri Krishna for executing some pastimes in which world? Material world. ये बात सिद्धांत should be very clear in this regard. चलो, let's understand. Now we understood Ragatmika. Now let's understood what is Raga Anuga. So let's read the next verse. विराजन्तीम विव्यक्ता
विराजन्तीम विव्यक्ता
व्रजवासी जनादिषु रागात्मिका मनुसृता यासा रागानुगोच्यते विराजन्तीम अभिव्यक्ताम. विराजन्तीम means she, that bhakti which is virajanti, viraj rahi hai, she is eternally present. Abhivyaktam, she is clearly manifested. Abhivyakta, she is clearly manifested. In which Brajavasi Janadishu, in the eternal Brajavasis, that is known as Ragatmika. That is known as which bhakti?
Ragatmika.
Next line, Rupa Goswami says, Ragatmikam Anusrita. But that which runs behind, which follows in the footsteps of that Ragatmika bhakti, ya, sa, that bhakti is known as which bhakti? Raganuga bhakti. I hope you are able to understand that bhakti is known as which bhakti? Raganuga. Now, in practicality, how does Raganuga bhakti look? This is very important to understand. First qualification for Raganuga bhakti is you should have initial attachment towards Bhagwan. The technical name is called lobha. What is it called as? Lobha. That initial attachment should be there. Full perfection is not expected. Initial lobha is expected. What is the meaning of initial lobha? When you read 10th canto pastimes, you become attached towards a particular mood of a particular Brajavasi. I hope you are able to understand. When you read the 10th canto, you become spontaneously attracted to the mood of an eternal Brajavasi. When you read the 10th canto, you will find, oh, here Sudama was saying something, Sridama was saying something, and you feel most like-minded, like-hearted to the mood of an existing Brajavasi. I hope you are able to understand. So some devotees feel most like-minded to Sudama, Sridama. They are aspirants for which rasa? Sakhya. There is not, it is not Sakhya, it is called as Sakhya with the short Sakhya ras. They are aspirants for which rasa? Sakhya ras. Some feel very much aligned in the mood of Madhukandha, Snigdhakantha, Chitrak, Patrak, who are servants of Nanda Maharaj. They are aspirants of which ras? Dasya ras. Some feel most aligned with the mood of Yashoda, Nanda, Rohini, Upananda, etc. They are aspirants for which rasa? Some feel most aligned with Srimati Lalita, Sri Vishakha, Sri Rupa Manjari, etc. They are aspirants for which rasa? I hope you are able to understand. So this is Raga Anuga. You don't yet have an identity in the spiritual world, but you are aspiring for a particular mood. I hope you are able to understand. Therefore, this bhakti is called as which bhakti? Raga Anuga bhakti. And the bhakti which is present with the eternal Brajavasis is known as which bhakti? Raga Atmika bhakti. Because Raga has become their Atma. I hope you are able to understand. Raga is the Atma of that bhakti. Therefore, it is Ragatmika. And we are only following in the footsteps of that Raga Atmika bhakti. Therefore, our bhakti will be known as which bhakti? But for that we need qualification to perform even Raganuga. The qualification is Lobha. What is the qualification? Lobha. Which means initial attachment to the mood of an existing Brajavasi. An existing Brajavasi means 2024 wala Brajavasi? Yeah. Nitya Siddha Brajavasi. Okay? Don't think 2024 wala. Okay? The mood of a Nitya Siddha Brajavasi. Okay? Chalo. Sri Jiva Goswami makes a very big comment here. Everybody should understand this comment very nicely. Please repeat. न च वक्तव्यं विधि अनधीनस्य न संभवति भक्तिरिति न च वक्तव्यं. Never ever say this. What should we never say? Vidhi anadhinasya na sambhavati. That one who has not practiced Vaidhi Bhakti can never attain Raganuga Bhakti. I hope you are able to understand. Never ever say this. Nacha Vaktavyam. that anybody who has not practiced Vaidhi Bhakti can never attain which Bhakti? Raga Nuga Bhakti. No. For Raga, the qualification is not Vaidhi. For Raga Nuga Bhakti, the qualification is what? Lobha. If that Lobha arises even without practicing Vaidhi Bhakti, even without Vaidhi Bhakti, you will become eligible for which Bhakti? Raga Nuga Bhakti. And Jiva Goswami is such that he will not say anything without giving Praman. Therefore, Praman is needed for a devotee who did not follow Vaidhi Bhakti but directly attained which Bhakti? Raga Nuga Bhakti. So, Sri Jiva Goswami gives Praman from Srimad Bhagavatam 2.1.7. Now, somebody can pull out the verse. You pull out the verse, and meanwhile, we'll read the verse. Prayena Munayo Rajan Nivritta Vidishedhatah Nairgunyastharamante Sma Gunanukathane Hare Prayena Munayo Rajan. O Rajan, O Parikshit Maharaj. Prayana, in many cases, most cases, Nivritta Vidishedata. There are sages who went beyond Vidhi and Nisheth, went beyond the rules and regulations of Shastra. Nairgunyastha, they became situated beyond the modes of nature. Ramantesma, and they took great pleasure. Gunanu Kathane Hare, in the direct speaking and relishing of the qualities of Bhagwan Hari. Going beyond rules and regulations, they took direct pleasure in the narrations of Bhagwan Hari. Please read the translation by Srila Prabhupada.
O King Parikshit, mainly the topmost transcendentalists who are above the regulative principles and restrictions take pleasure in describing the glories of the Lord.
Who are above?
Above the regulative principles and restrictions.
Who are above the rules and restrictions. They take pleasure in describing glories of Sri Hari. So what does this mean? It means that we can get to Raganuga Bhakti through Vaidhi also. But Vaidhi is not a compulsory qualification for entering into which Bhakti? Raganuga Bhakti. Never say this. Never ever say this. That without practicing Vaidhi Bhakti, you will never be able to attain Raganuga Bhakti. You are speaking directly against the previous Acharyas. So never make such a statement. A person can attain Raganuga Bhakti by having Lobha. That Lobha can be attained simply by the mercy of an existing sadhu without practicing rules and regulations. Example, Narad Muni in previous life developed attachment for Bhagavan by practicing Vaidhi first or simply by attaining the mercy of a sadhu? No, Narad Muni, first you should practice Vaidhi Bhakti. I hope you are able to understand. So he simply attained the mercy of an existing sadhu, and by that the seed is planted in the heart. You get Lobha. By Lobha you are eligible for which Bhakti? Raganuga Bhakti. In Raganuga Bhakti, most of the limbs of Vaidhi Bhakti are still applicable. Shravanam you have to do, Kirtanam you have to do, Smaranam you have to do, but that is after attaining Raganuga Bhakti. I hope you are able to understand. After it, no, you cannot place them as pre-qualifications for Raganuga Bhakti. The pre-qualification for Raganuga Bhakti is only one. What is that? Lobha. And what is Lobha? Lobha is the intense hankering to attain the mood of an existing Nityasiddha Brajavasi. Existing Ragatmika Bhakta. I hope you are able to pura. Okay? Chalo. Final conclusion. Jiva Goswami gives. Please repeat. Tato Vidhi Marga Bhaktir Vidhi Sapeksheti Sa Durbala. So Jiva Goswami is saying, therefore, Vidhi Marga Bhakti, the Bhakti which Bhakti? Vaidhi Bhakti. Vidhi Sapeksha, it expects something. Usko apeksha hai. It expects Vidhi. What does it expect? Vidhi. Rules and regulations. And those rules and regulations have to come from where? Shastra. Therefore, Sa Durbala, she is weaker in comparison. Okay? If she is weaker, naturally somebody should be what? Stronger. Now, who is stronger? Next statement. Iyam tu swatantraiva pravartate iti prabala jagyeya. And iyam tu, this bhakti, however, which bhakti remains? Raga Nuga Bhakti. Swatantraiva, it is free. When it appears. And then it takes over. Because of being free and not dependent on Vidhi, therefore Prabala. Prabala means she is stronger. And Vaidhi Bhakti is Durbala. Durbala means she is weaker in comparison. So the amount of attack, what is the meaning of Durbala and Prabala here? Weaker and stronger. Durbala means she does not have the required strength to produce that level of attachment that can be produced by which Bhakti? Raganuga Bhakti. Vaidhi Bhakti can also produce attachment towards Bhagwan. In the state, Vaidhi Bhakti can also lead to Bhav. Because Sadhan Bhakti leads to Bhav. Sadhan Bhakti is of two types. What are the two types of Sadhan Bhakti? Vaidhi. So Sadhan Bhakti Vaidhi Bhakti should also lead to what? Bhav. Raganuga Bhakti should also lead to what? Bhav. But when Vaidhi Bhakti leads to Bhav, it leads with Aishwarya. Oh Bhagwan, बहुत बड़े, we are very small. You know? Sahasra Shirsa Purusha Sahasraksha Sahasrapat Sabhumim Vishwato Bhritva Atyatishtat Dashangulam. Sahasra Shirsha Purusha, he has thousands of heads. Sahasraksha, thousands of eyes. Sahasrapat, thousands of hands. One thing I can do to him. What can I do to him?
No doubt in reverence.
Vaidhi Bhakti se jo bhav means. This is bhav which is attained through which Bhakti? Vaidhi Bhakti. Bhav which is attained through Rag Bhakti. Hare Krishna, kya? कल दिखाई नहीं दिए. I hope you are able to understand. This is the bhav attained through which Bhakti? Because you followed in the footsteps of an existing Ragatmika devotee. Okay? Then in your next life you will do this, not in this life. In your next life you will do this. You should have an identity first, in spiritual world. You are some Sakha, or you are some Gopi, or you are some servant. Without the identity you cannot interact with Krishna. Okay? So identity has to be attained. Then Hare Krishna kya? So this is in Sadhak Avastha or Siddha Avastha? Okay? So that Siddha Avastha needs to be developed. And that Siddha Avastha develops first in the mind in this life, and then it fructifies in actuality in the next life. Okay? That is what it is. Chalo. We'll pause here. Thank you very much for kindly coming today. I hope I was able to make the distinctions between Vaidhi and Raganuga Bhakti very clear. The papers are for all of you. Don't return them back. Okay? You can refer to the original sources of Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, Srimad Bhagavatam. All the pramanas were given so that you can look them up. Okay? So to sum it up once again, very quickly, Sadhan Bhakti is Bhakti in practice. Two characteristics. It is executed through the senses. Senses also includes the mind. So thinking of Krishna is also Sadhan Bhakti. And second characteristic, Sadhan Bhakti should help you attain what? Bhava. If it doesn't help you attain Bhav, can it technically be called Sadhan Bhakti? No. Sadhan Bhakti is categorized as two. What are the two types of Sadhan Bhakti? Vaidhi Sadhan, Raganuga Sadhan. But for Raganuga, we should first understand what is Ragatmika. But first we should understand what is Rag. What is Rag? Rag is the innate, spontaneous, natural 24 karat gold. Deep attachment that a sense enjoyer has for sense objects. When similar attachment is found towards Bhagwan, it becomes also known as Raga, but that Raga is present only with the Ragatmika Bhaktas. Who are the Ragatmika Bhaktas? Nityasiddha Vrajavasis. It cannot be present with people in 2024 or ahead. Alright, somebody is listening to 2025 also, it cannot be present. Okay? So, it is not present with people who are right now in the stage of a sadhaka. It is only present with a siddha, those who have already attained Goloka Vrindavan. Now, to follow in their footsteps, means to listen to their katha, to take pleasure in remembering them, specific associates of Krishna, to take pleasure in specific moods in relation to Shri Krishna, is the beginning of which type of bhakti? Raganuga bhakti. And when that Raganuga bhakti attains perfection, it leads to bhav. When Vaidhi bhakti also attains perfection, it leads to bhav. But that Vaidhi had a shasan. Shasan of what? Shastra. So that bhav which you attain is also of similar nature. Shasanatmak bhav. I hope you are able to understand. Shasanatmak bhav is present. Oh my God, Bhagavan is very great. I am Das. I hope you are able to understand. That leads to a different attainment. That bhav is different. And the bhav which is attained through Raganuga bhakti is of a very different nature. Okay? So, short and sweet, the bhav which is attained through Vaidhi bhakti is Aishwarya Pradhan bhav. Is which bhav? Aishwarya Pradhan bhav. And the bhav which is attained through Raganuga bhakti is Madhurya Pradhan bhav. Which bhav? Madhurya Pradhan bhav. Once we understand these distinctions, everything becomes clear. Trick question: is Vaidhi bhakti compulsory for entering into Raganuga bhakti? No. Are you made a big statement. What is the praman? Jiva Goswami is sadhu. Jiva Goswami should quote Shastra. Which Shastra? Which slok? 2.1.7. ठीक है? प्रायेण मुनयो राजन् निवृत्ता विदिशेषतः निर्गुणस्था निर्गुणस्था रमन्ते स्म गुणानु कथने हरे. ठीक है? इधर प्रमाण. Once प्रमाण is attained, बस nobody else can say anything after that. ठीक है? हाँ. But just because Raganuga bhakti is above rules and restrictions, इसका मतलब they will do anything क्या? No. 99% of Vaidhi bhakti rules and regulations will apply even to the devotee who is practicing which bhakti? Raganuga bhakti. Which means Raganuga bhakta will also perform Ekadashi. Yes or no?
Yes.
Raganuga bhakta will also hear, chant, remember Krishna. Yes or no?
Yes.
Obviously. 99% of those vidhis will apply also for the Raganuga. Chalo. Let's pause here. Do we have some time for Q&A? Okay. We'll take a few question and answers. Is anybody getting late? No. Okay. Did he go? चले गए? He went? हाँ, मतलब प्रशांत लिख दे. ठीक है. चलो, anybody wants to ask a query? All right. First query from you. All right.
As you told me, to attain Ragatmika Bhakti, we should have to follow first Raganuga Bhakti. Is it possible directly from Vaidhi Bhakti one can attain Ragatmika Bhakti?
No.
Not at all.
What is the definition of Vaidhi Bhakti? Read the verse.
That which is Raga from the Shastra.
That is only one characteristic. First characteristic क्या था? Where Rag was absent. So where Rag was absent since the very beginning, absent from the very, how will it lead to Raganuga Bhakti? I hope you are able to understand. So when Rag was absent from the very beginning, see Rupa Goswami such, he has included everything, nothing, but you have to memorize it as it is. यत्र रागान वाप्तत्वात् प्रवृत्तिरुपजायते शासनेनैव शास्त्रस्य सा वैदि भक्तिरुच्यते. Once you have a contest, then no problem. Then you know all the conditions. Okay? Chalo. Yes, probably.
So, Guruji, as you nicely explained that Vidhi Bhakti is a different type of sadhana bhakti and Raganuga Bhakti is a different, and we should not say that in order to attain Raganuga Bhakti you need to follow. So also Bhaktivinoda Thakur Mahasaya he makes a statement that Vidhi Bhakta Ratna Jane Swatinita Ratna Dani. That statement is there. So how do we understand that statement?
Okay. So Harivallabh Prabhu's question is that Sri Jiva Goswami said one should not make the statement that you need Vaidhi Bhakti to enter into which Bhakti? Raganuga Bhakti. At the same time, there is a song by Sri Bhaktivinoda Thakur Mahasaya The song begins Suno He Rasika Jana. You can look it up, and the song begins as Suno He Rasika Jana. In that song, in the fourth stanza, it says Vidhi Marga Rata Jane Swadhinata Ratna Dane Raga Marge Karaya Pravesh. Those devotees who are engaged in Vidhi Marga, Krishna gives them Swadhinata Ratna, the jewel of freedom. Freedom from the bonds of Vidhi. And Raga Marge Karaya Pravesh. And he makes them enter into which marg? Raga. But does it happen for every Vaidhi Bhakta? This is a very big question. It may be possible for somebody who is following in the footsteps of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But does it happen compulsorily for every devotee? Otherwise, if by following Vaidhi Bhakti, automatically you are going to end up in Raganuga Bhakti, Rupa Goswami will not make two categories. Rupa Goswami will only make how many categories? Single category. And he will say, stage 1 is Vaidhi, stage 2 is Rag. Some directly attain to stage 2, some attain through stage 1. Are they two stages or two different categories? Categories. It is possible in a specific situation that somebody who gets association of a specific sadhu, a Vaidhi Bhakta who gets association of a specific sadhu, Krishna may become merciful on such a Vaidhi Bhakta and may give association of such a sadhu, and by the association of such a sadhu he may make the devotee enter on the path of Raga. Otherwise, by their own self, they cannot have that lobha. So that lobha is attained by either by previous life or in this life by association of a sadhu. In the case which you described was a Vaidhi Bhakta. Clearly he did not have lobha from previous lives. If he would have had, he would have directly entered into which bhakti? Clearly he did not have any lobha from previous lives. He needs to have lobha. Krishna becomes merciful on him. Thus Krishna will give him lobha in what manner? So lobha will rub onto him by association of an existing sadhu. And when that lobha rubs onto him, that is when Raga Marge Karaya Pravesh. Because a person who is bound in Vidhi, how does a person become free from Vidhi? Who frees them? By themselves, do they have the strength to overcome Shastra Shasan? No. They are very, very afraid of Shastra Shasan. So they will not do that themselves. They have that statement, Shruti, Smriti, Puranadi, Pancharatra, Vidimbina, Aikantiki, Harer Bhakti, Utpataya, Iva Kalpate. They are afraid of flouting the stipulations of Shastra. But there comes a sadhu and then tells them, for you, this rule is not applicable. You spend more time in Smaran of Bhagavan Sri Krishna. Through association of that sadhu and through instruction of that sadhu, the knot of Vidhi is loosened. Not fully slackened, loosened. And the devotee enters into which path? So that indication is there. Alright? Do you have the song Suno He Rasik? Yes. Somebody can either. So it is verse number 4, as I said, Vidhi Marga Ratta Jane Swadhinata Ratna Dane Raga Marge Karaya Pravesh. And in the first verse, and you can read the first verse, the hint is given. Please read the Bangla of the first verse.
Shuno he rasika jana Krishna guna agana Ananta hite nahi pare Krishna jagatera guru Krishna vancha kalpataru Navika se bhava parabhare.
So Krishna Jagatere Guru, Krishna Vancha Kalpataru, Navika se, and he helps as Navika. What is the meaning of Navika?
Gives
Direction. But that Navika appears also as whom? Guru. So that Jagat Guru Bhagwan Shri Krishna sends our individual Vyashti Guru. Through the Vyashti Guru, we understand how to go beyond Vidhi and attain the path of Raga. By our own strength, we cannot do. So that is very clear. Unless somebody has the strength from previous lives, they are self-motivated. So, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur जैसे तो ये तो नित्य सिद्ध, so he already has that strength. Previous life ही नहीं है, he just has that strength to directly enters into the path of Brahma. But still he also takes shelter of a guru. ठीक है? Yes, I'll take his then yours. Yeah.
Mentioned about Loga, then they should about. Can you elaborate more about the frequency of association, or is it through hearing, lecture?
Yeah. So the question is that I spoke about Lobha. Now, what is the specific method of attaining Lobha? Frequency of association.
Yeah, because you said
There is no formula for attaining Lobha. So people want to reduce everything into a formula. There is a verse in Padyavali. It's also in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Krishna Bhakti Rasa Bhavita Matir Matihi Kriyatam Yadi Kutopi Labhyate Tatra Laulyam Api Mulyam Ekalam Janma Koti Sukritairna Labhyate Tatra Laulyam Api Mulyam Ekalam. The only price to pay is Lobha, Laulya. But Janma Koti Sukritair, by millions of lives of Sukriti. Sukriti means just casual association. Yeah, casual limbs of bhakti, it will not be attained. How to attain? The big question mark still remains. It cannot be attained by one's effort. You cannot be the attainer. It has to be gifted. I hope you are able to understand. It has to be gifted.
Gifted from previous birth or a mercy of sadhu.
Previous birth means sadhu was in previous life. I hope you are able to understand. So some sadhu in previous life gifted, so you have it from previous life. So you are carrying it forward. If you don't have from previous life, you need to be gifted in this life.
Or by any sadhu.
From existing sadhu.
gifted का मतलब
Gifted का मतलब बताता हूँ. What is the meaning of gifted? If you go to a Rolls Royce showroom and say I want to buy a Rolls Royce, they'll say no. I'm willing to pay a price. What is the price? Does anybody know how much a Rolls Royce costs?
4%
एक में वो
Very
actually वो hereditary जो अमीर है तो
good. So, so there is a selected list of people in the world whom they select. And if you are chosen by that person or if you are invited by that person, something like that. Okay? Or let me give another example. In India, when the phone first came, OnePlus, you couldn't just buy OnePlus on the store. You needed an invite.
right.
Now, who could give you the invite? Somebody who already has the invite.
Right.
I hope you're able to understand. Huh? You remember those days?
I had purchased one.
He purchased one through invite. ठीक है?
और वो मुझसे मेरे को बोला था तू मेरे को क्या देगा?
So, or somebody who remembers when Gmail began, you couldn't sign up for Gmail. You needed to have an invite from a person who is already signed up on Gmail. Nowadays, you can just sign up. Okay? So that's how Raganuga Bhakti works. You can't say, I want Lobha. You can render service to an existing sadhu who you know has Lobha. If that sadhu is pleased, that sadhu gives you an invitation. Chalo.
हो गया थोड़ा बहुत
ठीक है? Then in your heart you find a sudden change. I am now spontaneously attracted to hearing about Shri Krishna. And when that is not present, by default you fall back on which bhakti? Vaidic. चलो कुछ नहीं तो वैदिक भक्ति तो है ना बचाने के लिए, है ना? But when you get an invitation from an invitation, नहीं बोलना चाहिए, when you get the mercy of an existing sadhu, so some of that rubs onto your heart, and then you can buy 1+. है कि नहीं? अंदर आ जाइए, ऐसे द्वार के बाहर अंदर आ जाइए. Invitation है अब अंदर आ जाइए. Yes, Mataji.
You mentioned Yukta Vairagya.
Yeah.
Just an observation that in practical life, we tend to buy things thinking we will use it for devotees or for Krishna.
Ah.
But that frequency is very less.
Less.
So we only end up using it most of the time.
Sure.
So how do you digest? How do we digest and how we should view that kind of mentality or if that situation happens?
Okay. So there is a definition of Yukta Vairagya. We should memorize the definition, and once memorized, we will know forever what is Yukta Vairagya. अनासक्तस्य विषयान् यथार्हम् उपयुञ्जतः निर्बन्धः कृष्ण सम्बन्धे वैराग्यं युक्तमुच्यते. The 3 conditions are there. Anasaktasya vishayan. When you see any material object, you should not have any personal attachment towards that object. Condition 1. For example, I want to buy a laptop. What is the purpose? So that I can show some presentations to the devotees. ठीक है? चलेगा. I go to a store. First thing, अरे MacBook Air, ये मुझे चाहिए. I want this. तो पहला condition flout हो गया. I am in the first step. I have become asakta. What have I become? Asakta. Anasaktasya. This is the best one in the market. But I don't really need the best one. I just need something which can, which I can show some presentation. Second condition, yatha arham upayunjatah. As much as you need, only that much you use. Don't use it beyond the scope of your need. है कि नहीं? So I take a laptop. For showing presentations to the devotees. So presentation work is done. After that I say, चलो Olympics में what is India doing? So I turn on live Olympics. But I don't have subscription of that premium channel, which is, he knows. So I don't have premium subscription of the channel. Free है? धन्यवाद तो ठीक है. Free है तो भी, even if it is free. यथा अर्हम उपयुञ्जतः. Do I really need to watch for my service to Bhagwan? Yes or no?
No.
My service was to show presentations. So second condition is use as much as needed for your particular seva. Nirbandha, your determination, Krishna sambandhe, should only be in relation to Krishna. That acceptance of material objects become known as which vairagya? Yukta vairagya. And anything which flouts any one of those conditions becomes bhog, not falgu vairagya. Falgu vairagya तो खरीदा ही नहीं, क्योंकि वो तो माया है, मिथ्या है. नहीं समझ में. So 3 conditions are there. Now you homework, Mataji. Memorize the verse. Anasaktasya vishayan yatharham upayunjatah nirbandhah Krishna sambandhe vairagyam yuktam vairagyam uchyate. Okay, that is yukta vairagya. Once you know the 3 conditions, your personal attachment should not be there. You should use only as much as you need for that particular seva. And your main aim should be seva, nothing else. As your determination should be in seva. As long as those 3 are standing, those 3 conditions are standing, congratulations, your vairagya is which vairagya? Yukta vairagya.
Suppose I need a laptop which is not only for presentation, it is also for my office. Then I have to think what it is.
So what do you need for your office? Now office has a very indirect connection with bhakti. It doesn't have a direct connection with bhakti. Because what you get from the office, you can offer to Krishna what is called as Arop Siddha Bhakti. So that indirect sense, you can have a connection with Bhakti as much as I need for my office and for my seva. You can combine both of them. अब उसके आगे कुछ अगर है, if there is something beyond that, then we need to work upon that. ठीक है? Not that you are disqualified from bhakti, but you need to work upon that. Yes.
Once you had mentioned about Rupanuga, is Raganuga both same or
Rupanuga and Raganuga. Anybody who is following Sri Rupa Goswami's mode is called as what?
Rupanuga is followers of
And Rupa Goswami has given a type of bhakti which is called as what?
Raganuga.
Raganuga is to follow in the footsteps of the eternal Brajavasis. Rupanuga is to follow in the footsteps of Sri Rupa Goswami in all ways.
Rupanuga is Raganuga.
Is supposed to be Raganuga. But Rupa Goswami has also given definition of Vaidhi. So anybody who is following Vaidhi Bhakti is also in one way following Rupa Goswami only. Na?
Raganuga, I heard someone saying Raganuga is not Rupanuga. There can be scenario where Raganuga is not Rupanuga. How is that?
There can be scenario where Raganuga is not Rupanuga. Yes, because Sri Rupa Goswami has said that
Pushti Marg.
Kaishchit Pushti Margataya Kaishchit Hiyam Raganugochate. Some Vaishnavas call Raganuga Bhakti as Pushti Marg. So those who are following Shuddha Pushti Marg, according to Pushti Marga, the Jivas are categorized into various categories. Jiva का ही category होता है. Jiva is categorized into various. Some Jivas are Pushti Jiva. Pushti Jiva means they are whole and soul Raganuga Bhaktas. Some Jivas are exclusively Maryada Jivas. They are whole and soul Vaidhi. Maryada is their term, what they call Maryada, we call as what? Vaidhi. What they call as Pushti, we call as what? Raganuga. So some Jivas are purely Maryada Marg Jiva, which means they will be able to execute only one type of bhakti. Which type of bhakti? Vaidhi. Some Jivas are purely Pushti Margiya Jivas. They will be able to execute which type of bhakti? Raganuga Bhakti only. Some Jivas are Pravaha. Pravaha matlab they are Samsari Jiva, they are materialists. They will neither be able to execute Vaidhi Bhakti nor be able to execute Raganuga Bhakti. They will only give trouble to their family members who are executing Bhakti. समझ में आया? So they are known as Pravaha Jiva. Pravaha. So there is a nice composition by Sri Vallabhacharya. Pushti Pravaha Pushti Maryada or Pushti Pravaha Maryada Bhed. There is a composition like that in which he specifies the three types of jivas: Pushti Jiva, Maryada Jiva, Pravaha Jiva. Pushti is synonymous with which bhakti? Raganuga. Maryada is synonymous with which bhakti? And Pravaha is synonymous with what? No bhakti. Just flowing in the flow of the world. Pravaha mein behna. Alright? So Pravaha is synonymous with non-devotees. They can only do one thing. Okay, what can they do? Give trouble to devotees when they become family members. Alright? So that is, they are also Raganugas, but they are not. They may not be Rupanugas. Okay? Chalo. Let's. One last question, and I will answer personally. Chale? Yes, Raj Parikshit Prabhu. Easy question, na Raj Parikshit Prabhu, not difficult question.
Many times it is been said that some of our present acharyas are also Nitya Siddhas. So some people propagate that by following them, we can follow Raganuga. So is this Siddhantically?
Okay, the doubt is, some people say that some of our existing Gurujanas and Acharyas are Nitya Siddhas. By following them, you can follow Raganuga Bhakti. Acha, Nitya Siddha means they should have a form in Gaur Leela or Krishna Leela?
और लीला
Krishna Leela. Brajavasi. So, to have an eternal form in Krishna Leela is what is the meaning of Nitya Siddha. And if we know the Nitya Siddha Swarup of any existing Gurujana, let's say there is a Guru named Krishna Das Goswami. मान लो, there is a Guru named Krishna Das Goswami. And somebody knows what is the eternal Swarup of Krishna Das Goswami. Let's say they know the eternal Swarup of Krishna Das Goswami is that he is such and such a Sakha in the spiritual world. So if you follow in the footsteps of that Sakha, I hope you are able to understand, follow in the footsteps of that Sakha, then you are Raganuga. But you cannot say that by following in the footsteps of the sadhak, because when they are in their Guru Swarup, they are executing sadhan bhakti. Which bhakti are they executing? Sadhan bhakti. Okay? Huh? So in their Guru Swarup, they may be executing Vaidhi sadhan or Raganuga sadhan, but still they are executing sadhan bhakti. So जो Guru Janas hai, mostly they are sadhakas. They are home sadhakas. They may be Vaidhi sadhakas or they may be Raganuga sadhakas. Siddha Deha is attained only in connection with Goloka Vrindavan. So do the existing devotees in their current swarup as sannyasi or brahmachari, is that swarup their swarup in Goloka Vrindavan? No. They are going to have a different swarup in Goloka Vrindavan. Okay? So therefore right now they are sadhakas. Right now they are home sadhakas. Praman, to not speak anything without praman. So I will give a praman for the same and you can look this up from Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. In Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu there is a verse that Seva Sadhaka Rupena Siddha Rupena Chatrahi. You should render Seva as a Sadhak and as a Siddha. In commentary to that, Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, who are the Sadhakas? And he gives the name of Sadhakas. The names of sadhakas are Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatan Goswami, Sri Raghunath Das Goswami. He gives the names of these sadhakas. Couldn't he have listed them as siddhas? But he lists the names of the siddhas then. Sri Rupa Manjari, Sri Lavanga Manjari. I hope you are able to understand.
Still he quoted them as
Sadhakas. Why is Rupa Goswami also quoted as a sadhaka? If Rupa Goswami is also quoted as a sadhaka, Kaimutyanai, Kimuta, what to speak of? Others who have come after Rupa Goswami, they are also in the stage of what? Sadhakas. Okay? Rupa Goswami is also what? Sadhaka or Siddha. As Rupa Goswami, he is Sadhaka or Siddha? Sadhaka. As Rupa Manjari, he is what?
Siddha.
जब रूप गोस्वामी साधक है, बाकियों की क्या बात कर रहे हैं? तो ऐसा उल्टा सीधा बात नहीं करना चाहिए. One should not speak like that. Anybody who has spoken like that, the existing gurus in their guru swarup or siddhas, they don't understand the siddhanta. The siddhanta is given and I will tell you where it is given so that you can look at, anybody who wants to look it up can look it up. Seva sadhaka rupena, siddha rupena, chatrahi. In the Sanskrit commentary of Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he gives the list of sadhakas. In the list of sadhakas, the first sadhak he counts is Sri Rupa Goswami. So Rupa Goswami is also counted as what? Sadhak. Short and sweet bata deta hu. Anybody who is in connection with Gaur Leela is to be counted as in sadhak. Right now Gaur Leela is going on. Alright? Even today which Leela is going on? Gaur Leela. Are we part of this Leela? Yes or no?
Yes.
We are which day? Sadhaka or Siddha? Anybody in connection with Krishna Leela? Which deha? Siddha deha. Chota, short. Right hand rule. Anybody Gaur Leela? Which deha? Anybody in Krishna Leela? Siddha deha. Gaurangera Sangi Gane Nitya Siddha Kari Mane. The devotees of Gauranga Mahaprabhu also have a Nitya Siddha Deha. Say Jai Brajendra Suttapas. Anybody who understands this will also get a Nitya Siddha Deha of his or her own. Okay, chalo. Let's pause here. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Hi. Jai nahi. Hi. ठीक है चलो. हरे कृष्णा. हाँ यहाँ. यदत्र स्खलितं किंचित् विद्वांसः पूरयन्तु तत्. यदत्र सौष्ठवं किंचित् तद्गुरोरेव मे नहि. यदत्र स्खलितं किंचित्. If there's any mistake, Vidvamsa, your learned devotees, Purayantu that, please correct any mistakes. Yadatra Saushtavam Kinchit. But if there's anything nice, please remember, Tat Guru Reva. It all came from Guru Jana, Sri Rupa Goswami, etc. Me nahi. Not from me. So I am the bhikshu who just collected from Rupa Goswami. Okay? It didn't come from me. Thank you very much, dear devotees, especially who came for the first time. Please come. You're most welcome to come. Ideal is to confirm your name and come. Alright, so we can make prasadam arrangements. I'm sure there are prasadam arrangements for everybody. Yes, so we know Achyutanand Gaurang Prabhu he has kept a few extra plates for those who have come. But ideally it is better to give RSVP in the Sunday program group. So those who want to join the Sunday program group, you please contact me. I'll give you the WhatsApp invite of the group. and then whenever there's a program held, you're most welcome to the program. Okay, everybody is welcome who is seriously willing to practice the path. Okay, those who are practicing since a few years, want to go deeper into the path, you're all welcome. You may be disciple of any guru, or you may be belonging to any Gaudiya Vaishnav institution. You are welcome to attend the program. Okay, the program is guru neutral and institution neutral. Okay, so you are welcome to come, and we don't hold you hostage. If you come to this program, you should not go to any other program. Okay, we don't indulge in such practices. So you are free to switch to any other program whenever you want. But coming to it's not North Korea, and I'm not Kim Jong Un. You are free to come, and you are free to go to any other program. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.